Hello, BBN. The news broke recently that Caleb Wilson canceled his visit to Alabama. Big win for Kentucky? Is this a comeback and this guy is coming to the blue team? Let's analyze this situation, but first subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. The recruitment of Caleb Wilson, one of the most coveted prospects in the 2025 class, gained a crucial chapter this week, with the Kentucky Wildcats getting closer and closer to securing the five-star talent. Wilson's decision to cancel his official visit to Alabama last week certainly strengthens the hopes of the Big Blue Nation. When a player of his caliber, ranked as the fifth best prospect according to the On3 industry ranking, chooses to cancel a long-awaited commitment, it is a clear sign that something significant is happening behind the scenes. Wilson's visit to Kentucky, which took place in September, seems to have been decisive. The power forward reported having had a remarkable experience on campus, highlighting both the moments on and off the court. Working alongside the new coaching staff led by Mark Pope, Wilson has had the opportunity to familiarize himself with the structure of the Wildcats program, from watching practices to discussing tactical approaches with the coaching staff. In addition, the integration with the current team and future stars like Jasper Johnson and Malachi Moreno has added a personal dimension to his involvement with Kentucky. That kind of connection is crucial to recruiting success, and it seems Pope's staff has capitalized on that moment. The fact that Wilson has publicly stated that he likes the Cats and highlighted how much he has felt welcomed by the fan base, staff, and players suggests that Kentucky is undoubtedly among the favorites. In a landscape where heavyweights like Tennessee, Arkansas, and North Carolina are still in the running, Kentucky's ability to establish itself as a top option is a reflection of the distinctive work of Pope and his staff. It's important to note that Wilson still has a visit scheduled to Georgia Tech in late October, and while other programs may be interested, his commitment to Alabama will not be rescheduled, which could indicate a change in direction in his decision-making process. Another factor that could play in the Wildcats' favor is Wilson's close relationship with point guard Aaden Lewis, a four-star prospect who is considering Kentucky, Duke, and UConn. Wilson and Lewis' interaction on social media after the campus visit, exchanging posts about the possibility of playing together, could be seen as an indication that Kentucky has an ace in its hands. The friendship between the two athletes, combined with their shared vision for the future, creates a very interesting environment for great players on this team. Even though there is still a way to go, with Wilson possibly delaying his decision until the fall or early winter, the Wildcats are in a very good position at this point. It's certain that Wilson's future visits will reveal who is truly in the running to land the young talent. But with the Alabama visit out of the picture and the emotional connection he has developed with Kentucky, it seems that the Wildcats are at the forefront of this battle. Mark Pope and his staff have much to celebrate because while other programs continue to move behind the scenes, Kentucky is still a big part of Wilson's mind. Now, it's just a matter of time before he lands the recruit for the Blues. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Shall we talk a little more about Lewis? Aaden Lewis, one of the best point guards in the 2025 class, is reaching a critical stage in his recruitment. He recently narrowed his list of options to just 3 schools: Duke, Kentucky, and UConn, leaving North Carolina out of the running. This decision highlights the strength of the recruiting campaigns at these 3 schools, with each trying to position themselves as the ideal choice for the talented player from Washington, D.C. Aaden Lewis is ranked as the 30th best overall player in the 2025 class, in addition to being the 5th best point guard in the country. His skill with the ball and his ability to create space for himself make him a key asset to any team. His style of play is distinctive, characterized by his dominance with his left hand and his repertoire of dribbles and hesitations that allow him to maneuver the opposing defense with fluidity. However, Lewis is still working on certain aspects of his game, such as shot selection and pass reading, which could be a point of concern for coaches who are watching him. Does Kentucky have a competitive edge? In addition to Lewis having a good relationship with fellow 2025 classmate and Kentucky recruit Jasper Johnson, Mark Pope has shown a serious commitment to making sure Lewis understands the vital role he can play in the future of the program. In fact, Lewis mentioned in an interview with 247 Sports that Kentucky has been consistent in his recruitment, noting that he would have a great opportunity to play in his first season, especially with some key departures from the current roster. Kentucky not only wants Lewis, but is also prepared to give him a central role on the team. That opportunity for immediate impact is something that could weigh heavily in the decision of the young point guard, who also values the sense of belonging he has found in Lexington. The final visit to Kentucky will be the last opportunity for Mark Pope and his staff to make a positive impression and close out the recruiting campaign successfully before the early signing period in November. Meanwhile, UConn remains in the mix, with Lewis praising the coaching staff and the atmosphere of the program. But the big question that looms over the process is, can Mark Pope close out the recruiting campaign with a bang and bring one of the most promising point guards in the country to the Wildcats? The answer to that question could define the next phase of the Kentucky basketball program's development. While there are still important visits and decisions to be made, Kentucky is positioned in a strong position at this critical juncture. Game on! The Kentucky Wildcats offense has been a focal point in recent weeks, and Mark Stoops, with his pragmatic outlook, recognizes the impact of this improvement on all areas of the game. The contrast between the performances against South Carolina and Ole Miss is clear. While the Wildcats struggled to reach 200 total yards against the Gamecocks, their performance against Ole Miss was far superior, with 336 total yards and a significant number of 22 first downs, outpacing the number one offense in the country. Stoops emphasized that the offensive improvement doesn't just benefit one side of the ball, but the entire team. When discussing how Kentucky's defense was able to slow down two Heisman candidates in Carson Beck and Jackson Dart, he got right to the point. The offense moving the ball and controlling time of possession helped the defense be more effective. It helps with field position. It helps with defense. It's not just about killing the clock, but the offense moving the ball makes all the difference, Stoops said, noting how the synergy between offense and defense is essential to the team's success. Indeed, Kentucky's defense has proven itself to be one of the best in the country, especially in wins over Georgia and South Carolina. The performance against Ole Miss was particularly impressive, with the defense holding the Rebels to just one conversion on 10 third-down attempts. Significant considering Ole Miss was converting third downs on nearly 56% of its attempts, ranking 7th in the nation in that regard. Stoops stressed that this achievement starts with the strength of the defensive line, which is essential in putting the opponent in long second and third down situations, creating a difficult barrier to overcome. Another key aspect of the Wildcats' improvement has been the play of the offensive line, which Stoops highlighted as crucial to the offense's progress. The team has not only improved its quarterback protection, but also its explosive playmaking. Against Ole Miss, Kentucky completed 7 passes of 15-plus yards, a significant number compared to just one such play against South Carolina. This increased ability to create long plays was key to the win in Oxford, as those decisive moments changed the course of the game. The contribution of offensive coach Bush Hamdan in his first year with the Wildcats was also a point mentioned by Stoops. Hamdan has demonstrated a growing understanding of the team's capabilities and limitations, adjusting the game plan more precisely as the season progresses. Stoops praised the evolution of the offense under his leadership, especially in the protection game and in developing a balance between the ground attack and the play-action passing. Looking ahead, Kentucky appears to be on an upward trajectory, both in terms of offensive efficiency and defensive execution. Combining the ability to fight for tough yards with the ability to create explosive plays, Stoops' team is positioning itself as a force to be reckoned with. In a scenario where the margin for error is minimal, This continued improvement in all aspects of the game will be crucial to the Wildcats' success throughout the rest of the season. Rajon Rondo's career has always been marked by his distinct vision of the game, tactical intelligence, and leadership on the court, qualities that he is now ready to transfer to a new phase in the world of basketball. The former point guard, who shone with the Kentucky Wildcats and established his legacy in the NBA with several titles, decided to explore the world of coaching, accepting the invitation to join the Milwaukee Bucks as a guest coach. This transition, alongside his former coach Doc Rivers, opens the door to a promising future for both Rondo and the Bucks, who will be able to benefit from the vast experience and strategic knowledge that he brings. Rondo has always been recognized as one of the great court generals in the NBA, with a natural ability to orchestrate the game and lead his teams. Over more than a decade and a half, he played with some of the biggest franchises in the league and won important titles. Now, as he takes on this new role behind the scenes, he will have the opportunity to apply his tactical acumen in a different way, helping to shape the next generation of players. In his own words, Rondo acknowledges that the transition to coaching isn't as simple as it may seem. During an interview with ESPN's Baxter Holmes, he reflected on the challenges of being a coach. You just can't say, I'm going to be a coach, and then everything just works out and that's how it goes. So certain personalities have to fit together, and there's a lot of sacrifice. There are certain things I'm learning. The morning meetings, the hours you spend watching film, it's a lot, Rondo said. This reflects his understanding that the role of a coach is as demanding as being a player, if not more so, with the need to sacrifice time and energy in pursuit of perfect preparation. The example of other former elite point guards, such as Jason Kidd and Chauncey Billups, who have also transitioned to the coaching bench, is a good indication of what may lie in store for Rondo. However, the task of becoming a successful coach is not easy, and many of these greats have faced significant challenges along the way. It will be intriguing to see how Rondo, with his intensity and knowledge of the game, adjusts to this new role. At the same time, his presence on the Bucks, a team that already has a talented and well-structured roster, could provide the ideal environment for him to develop his coaching skills and contribute significantly to the team's success. The partnership with Doc Rivers, with whom Rondo has a long-standing relationship, is another strength of this new phase of his career. Rivers, who coached Rondo during his prime with the Boston Celtics, will certainly help the former point guard navigate the coaching world, providing guidance and support during this transition. For the Bucks, Rondo's arrival could also be seen as a smart strategic move, especially considering their focus on developing young players and looking for more tactical depth. Rajon Rondo's entry into the coaching world is an exciting step for both him and the Milwaukee Bucks. Rondo's impact as a player was enormous, and now he has the chance to do the same off the field. While this is just the beginning, Rondo's experience and intelligence put him in a good position to become a force in the basketball world, this time as a coach. The future certainly looks bright. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments.